Steve, a couple other people got it. You got it? Did you ever get it? Sister Fanny, a couple of people. I called Charles Finch to get it. And it's a book called The Secret Teachings. The reason why this book it had a dust cover that was such a ridiculous dust cover because it got a big old white woman on with a big old white dress. It was just so horrible looking to it. I took mine off and I know a T-book. He took his off too. I said, I see he couldn't deal with the cover also. Gene Keeper, The Secret Teachings, in this big book here. This is the guy that was inspired by Gerald Massey, which is one of the few people that still uses Massey. And so and it had this big ridiculous cover on it. This big ridiculous cover on it. And the book was only like $29 or $30. Huh? $35 for almost 600 pages or something like that. Secret Teachings, yeah, which was an excellent price. But the key here is there's a section in this particular book, and I should have went and marked it, but I think I can find it. There's a section in this particular book that they show two things, and all this stuff is connected. We put all this stuff together. There's a section in this book, outside of him dealing with Gerald Massey, there's a section in this particular book where he has a picture of what is called the blood of Tiamat. It's the blood of Tiamat. And yeah, I was putting together this stuff and all, you know, I should have. And I had the book and stuff, but I didn't think about it till I got up here. And luckily he had one. But there's a section in here on the blood of Tiamat. And they show this medallion or something of the ancient world of her blood. And in her blood is these thousands of little grippies or dogs that look like Anubis figures or canine figures within the blood. This explains a couple of things because this also explains something a bit about melanin. Now you want to go get and also melanin being the devil that they're talking about, the double. Here it is on page 121. I'm going to pass this around and I'm going to see, you have a way that you can zoom in? Oh, yeah. If you get the second omen, that's the second one, part 2. And they took some the number 2. The third one was hell. That's when he grew up. But the first one was when he was a baby. The second one when he was a teenager. Okay, that one. And they took some of his blood. And when they say his blood is that of canine. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can see how well you can zoom in. And then we might pass this around for you to see this thing.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it. In this medallion here is all these little dogs, little canine dogs. That's also the Anubis figure. And in that those canine dogs and all that you see here, they say that's the blood of Tiamat. Now Tiamat being a form of the great mother that was overthrown, and her body was used to make the earth and the ocean. And her husband was overthrown, Kingu. His blood was used to make man. You see, so we have it here. That's page 121 in Gene Keeper's book, The Secret Teachings. This is the same guy that wrote a book called Kundalini for a New Age, where he says there's devices in the body that will come online whenever our race is seeming to go dormant or facing destruction. So they already know. Well, who are they talking about, first of all? You might want to pass this around, just show it. And look at the little dogs. Who are they talking about? Well, obviously they're killing black people all over the planet. And obviously they're killing black people here in America. So apparently the people that they are careful of are conscious black people. They said, now Gene Keeper's book, The Kundalini of a New Age, says that there are devices that is in the body that will come online and protect or destroy whatever is about to kill it or whatever is about to make it in danger. So obviously they're not talking about dead black people out here because they kill them a dime a dozen. And obviously they're not talking like 2 lectures or 1 lecture a month enough to get the rent up. And basically, you know, so my woman,
she get the food up, and we good to go, you know. No more, no less, you know. And so, so rent is due tomorrow, which because it's on the weekend, I have to pay it till Monday, so I scheduled a lecture around this time. It fell perfect, so. And basically that's it. A little bit left over. And we deal just like that. So, I usually don't carry a lot of books. Well, I used to carry a lot, but it started to keep me down in the airport. So, but since I had a car, I went and carried some, you know. She came up in me in like a late 70s or 80s cutlass with the vinyl on, tore off the side and shit. But basically, my brother, he paid $3,000 for, he paid $3,000 for 89 Jaguar. Now, $3,000 for 89 Jaguar, I think he drove it like, what, 3 weeks. And the best car they got is this cutlass here. This thing here runs just like a Mercedes. It was closed, you see. So it worked out perfect, you know. So it came on down. So what we're going to deal with tonight, first of all, let me get a list. Okay, I have an ancient document. I'm going to give it to the sister and she can pass them out to the people that want to get them. I have an ancient document from some information, from some Hermetic information that came out of the Library of Alexandria, but it's about 5,000 years old in the written word. And so it's a 5,000-year-old document talking about how we were going to go into slavery. And it goes, the Egyptians knew, or the Canaanites knew we was going to go into slavery 5,000 years before it happened. So we have this particular document because they put out the actual books for like $50 for 3-volume set in '92, but nobody got it, you know, because it was $50, so black people didn't buy it, so therefore, you know, it went out of print. But anyway, I was able to get a hold to, because there's different translations of it, but I was able to get a hold to one translation. So we produced a document on this some Hermetic stuff, and it goes into how, and I'll read it, how we will be in this land, and our bodies would be Egyptians or Canaanite or African or what have you, but our minds would be of another race. And how we would be thieves and rogues and, you know, hoes and pimps and all that, basically. And it's one of the most profound documents and all, because even though you have prophecy, like Bible prophecy is hit or miss, because a lot of it is symbology, and a lot of it, you know, we have so many interpretations of stuff that might not necessarily be, but this is just straight out, they just straight, you know, deal with that. So we have that particular document for $2 for the people that need it. We probably got about enough for the room and all. And I have another document. I don't usually sell stuff, but I just figured that this particular stuff is very important. We have another document coming from Australia. A guy did some information from Australia in 1985, and it was banned from this country. So we just now received it in June. And some stuff where it was the information that came out of the Conference of Nicaea. We just thought that they took the missing books out of the Bible, but in actuality, the ancient biblical text was all dealing with 2 races of people. So there was so much information about 2 different races of people, one good and one evil. And so they had to deal with taking that particular information out in the Conference of Nicaea. So the brother, I didn't say brother, he's actually a white boy from Australia, introduced this particular information in 1985, and actually, so we just not get it in the country now. So I have the actual document here for $2. This is like $1 a page, so that's, you know, whatever, and also we run off so much or whatever and all. But anyway, so we have that document for the people that need the 2 races of beings. I'm going to go through some of this also tonight also. Also, we're going to give out for the people who didn't receive the money ritual, the one from Haiti. How many people got that from the one from Haiti? The one with parchment paper. Okay, so that massive people in here don't have it. So we got the money rituals, 2 money rituals and all, but there's one that just to get you, you know, get food on your table, you know, like weekly, you know, if you need a little bit of money. And then there's some for serious financial problems. So a sister went over to Haiti in 96. Was it 96? Yeah. In the 96, and got it, brought it back here, and charged people $100 to get it. You know, she charged them $100 to get in, and she gave it out. So basically, I've been giving it out basically for free, or basically for whatever people charge to come to the lecture. So we're going to give that particular one out. I think you need that one for financial scrapes. And a lot of people have done it, and it works. Well, I haven't done it at all. Because I don't know, I'm hard-headed. But most of the people who actually did the actual, the ritual actually came out real good for it. And this is, so one is for just basically for petty cash, and you can do it every Monday, the one for petty cash, just to keep afloat. The other one is for serious financial burden. So we're going to give out both of those particular ones tonight also too. We're going to give out those particular ones tonight also too. Basically, with that in mind, also, a lot of people ask for a list because they want a polarization, and they ask for an actual list to actually deal with that. And also, we have a good list compiled, a list compiled with various deities and all, and I think we're going to deal with that one tonight also too. Also, I have and I don't know if somebody might have forgotten it the last time, but I also have a document where Honorable Elijah Muhammad predicted both AIDS and cloning. So I think I gave some of those out, so we have some of those documents for the people that need that too. That particular document, he predicted AIDS and cloning somewhere in the 1950s. Anyway, they call the people that have that, you got the first resurrection of the Nation of Islam, and that's the people that was the followers of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Some of those are now in their 60s, 70s, 40s, But anyway, this document showed up around in the first of the year, so we actually got this document because certain things came out, and those particular members after Wallace Muhammad broke up the nation, and all this, a lot of this particular information was scattered all over the country that people had. So he predicted both AIDS and cloning on this particular information, and we just now get this particular information back. And our brother from the first resurrection brought that forth. So we have that particular information for the people that need it, and some other things also too. But we also have that list of various deities, Now, like I'm saying now, we have a whole wealth of things because now we're asking for people to go back and study Greek philosophy because we now find out that the original Greeks were called the Etruscans, and the Etruscans were black people. And so you got the Etruscans, and they started both Greece and Rome. They started the language, they started the mythology, and they started the whole culture. And what it is, you got the Indo-European came down, they taught them how to speak. And basically they became the custodians of Greek culture. And just about like the Native Americans now, and then you would also have the white man here now, you see what I'm saying? Or the Arab in Egypt now, or in Hemmitt now. So we know now that we have been neglecting the Greekness because we had the battle between that whole Afrocentric thing where we had to just rescue Africa from Greece, with the whole thing in the late 80s, early 90s. Which, even with George James stolen legacy from back then, and your stuff with Mark Bernard. But now what it is, we find out that we have neglected the actual mythology is black. And even in the Syrian mystery, Temple Syrian mystery, there's a document in there where even Herodotus, which was the father of history, of white history or whatever it is, said that not only he said that the Egyptian the gods of Greece came from Hemmitt, but there's a document in there saying when the Mount Olympus fell, and we'll get into the science on that, they fled to Egypt. So we know that Mount Olympus has to be Atlantis and Lemuria. So, in Egypt is Mount Hotep, in Greece is Mount Olympus, in Christianity it's Mount Olives, Mount Zion, Mount Manu in India, which is talking about an advanced civilization, an advanced frequency. So we have that particular, so we're telling people to recall that information or actually get back into those particular Greek myths. Because at this particular time, one thing about the white boy. The white boy, we are sectarian. So we the Nation of Islam, we this, we Hebrews, we all this all cut up shit. And the white boy stand back and say, hey, we study it all. That's one thing about white people now, they study it all. That's how they rule you. Because they don't just get into the sectarianism because we're such cultural people and we don't understand that it all came from us. And that's the key at this particular time. Another thing we have to understand also in the piece of the puzzle, even with the particular scholars, or especially the metaphysical ones that's out now, the ones that preceded what is called the Afrocentric movement, because that's basically dead now. You know that we came from Egypt and all that kind of stuff, you know, and trip up the Nile, and, you know, and now we're going into another thing, what they call it the occult science, which is the advanced thing, the mysteries. We understand that everything is relevant. That's the key. That's the key when you talk about quantum physics is, whenever you say, no, this is, if you mention one particular truth, you miss the whole point. Everything is relevant. So the new realm always is relevant. You understand what I'm saying? The spiritual realm is relevant. The technical realm is relevant. And when you start saying, no, I'm going to get into that sectarian box, you end up messing up. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the way the doggone powers that be are dealing with this thing. They deal with it all. They deal with it all. You hardly ever see them where they don't, where they might say, oh, I'm just this, or I'm just a Hebrew, or I'm just Islam. You see what I'm saying? Oh, I just deal with meditation, or I just deal with, they deal with everything because we understand that in the ancient world, you initiated a new mystery system. And they had a multiple system that could raise you to illumination and you become to your God self or the Godhood. But we know that the ancient world is in fragments now, it's shattered. So to get one little piece, you understand what I'm saying? Which means you got a piece, but it's only a fragment. So now we have to scrape up everything, and now we got to understand that everything is relevant. You see, in this particular realm of science, we're not talking about oak and all that old bullshit, you know. But everything is relevant, you know what I'm saying? And so therefore, it's Steve Kirkman is relevant, David Blair is relevant, Reverend Valentine is relevant, Mother Shakira is relevant. Everybody is, you understand what I'm saying? That's called the chaos sphere. And once you box it in a certain cage, it's over. You kill the energy. All of it is relevant at this particular time because we are at a critical point where we can't just be sitting up here saying, you know, well, I want to know who to follow. Because we don't supposed to be followers at this particular time. That's for the masses of people. You understand what I'm saying? That's for the masses of people. So the masses of people, the Nation of Islam, is for them. You see what I'm saying? The Hebrew Israelites is for them. The Moors is for them. But you supposed to be more advanced now, that you're supposed to be beyond that. The following. He who knows one book knows none. There's no religion higher than truth. You see? And that's what we're dealing with this particular time. It's got to be a certain amount of priests, scientists, priests. You see what I'm saying? They don't get into, because if you understand any of the esoteric versions, Sufism, Kabbalistic, Gnosticism, ancient Hemmitt, Austrianism, what you call the Druids, you'll understand that the exoteric religion, Christianity, Islam, and you know, the exoteric thing, it can differ based on culture. But the esoteric, they all have one common ground, illumination. That's the key. You see? That's the key. So we're talking about what the priests learn now, and that's what we have to deal with at this particular time. And also, we have to always work at neutralizing the ego, because that's the main thing that we're fighting against. What we're going to deal with tonight also, let's get the libations going. Let me get the list out. And what we're going to deal with tonight is information coming from one of the chief people of the Illuminati, which is advanced occultists, which is George Lucas, Mark Hamill, and the whole Star Wars crew, which is real deal shit. That's why they came out with the new trilogy and the movies. It was in the movies and the new thing, the 20-year anniversary, because it is critical at that particular time that some things that happened. And so it's some real awful things that happen, and I've just been revealed it, so therefore we're going to get into that tonight also too. So I'm talking ahead of myself. Let me get the libations going, and then we can go from there to get the energy. Now I'm going to have to take a couple of piss breaks because I've been drinking, because I got up 6 o'clock, so I had to drink, I had to get pumped up, so I had to drink the coffee, drink a whole lot of water, drink a lot of water and stuff, you see, so I can be awake. So, you know the deal. We don't deal with stuff we're beyond being cool, with scruples and all that kind of stuff that divide us. We talking family members now, so I take a couple of piss breaks, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the deal is, because I'm drinking a lot of water. You see, so we can't show our girls to each other. we do, because this is all we have now. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the key about being humble at this particular time, is not really caring about how you look before people. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what the whole society is, and that's called a postmodern society. You see what I'm saying? In the book, The People of the Secret, in that book there's a whole chapter in there on how America, the empire changed, which is America, and it's more advanced, but it's lacking in spirituality because everything is based on how things look. You see what I'm saying? So at this particular time, we shouldn't have no scruples. And I think that the last 140 years of education has actually ruined us. The miseducation has actually ruined us. We were an innocent people, and now we have become, with what you call that whole British mentality and that royal stink, that the same slave masters of the colonizers, we have that now. So there's no innocence among us. You see what I'm saying? Because we were too busy trying to not look ghetto. You see what I'm saying? And as a result, we have become the same cold beast. You see, that's stuff in Nigeria. You see what I'm saying? That